So I'm here to help you with one aspect. So initially I talked with the doctor. He called me for personal injury, like a lot of doctors do. I said, the more we talked, then one of the first things I do is I'll say, well, let's look at your stats. So we looked at his stats. And they were typical chiropractic stats. There were patients being lost left and right, left and right. I mean, when I do practice analysis, usually over 33% of the new patients are lost by the first 2 visits. And it's not because the patient doesn't need care. Believe me, that's not what it's from. It's from violating all the basic principles that are taught in chiropractic and not the S-curve of economics. But the chiropractors don't know any better, because they've been indoctrinated with all the chiropractic stuff. I'll give you a simple example. That's like coming over today. I was looking at Facebook. The stuff you see on Facebook from chiropractors that totally violates basic marketing principles is unbelievable. And then you go, we understand it. You go, I understand why we have 8% utilization after 120 years. So this chiropractor has an ad, Facebook pay-per-click. And her bright idea was to show crack in everybody. Crack in the neck. Crack in the back. Female coming across the patient, A to P thoracic. See, in chiropractic, you guys don't think anything about that. Oh, no. I've seen that. Somebody with back pain or neck pain, they want nothing to do with that. She thought it was cool. Normal people aren't like chiropractors. Normal people see that with neck or back pain. They go, I don't want anybody doing that to my neck when it hurts. She had no idea. She was totally repelling people. So I went into the comments. I was going to put a comment in there about basically that was not good. She had to turn off the comments because all the negative comments that were in there. And this was marketing, trying to attract people. That's chiropractic. That's why there's 8% utilization and there's 67% negative name recognition. But when you know the S-curve of economics, like what I learned, we learned patient education. And it's based on how consumers buy products and services. And it's called the S-curve of economics. And it's based on the science of the 3 phases of healing. So guess how many times you hear subluxation, a word nobody knows, nobody buys. Guess how many times you hear that coming out of our offices? 0. And especially if you're doing personal injury. That better not come out in the stand. When you're doing a deposition or trial testimony. Because that's weird. People think you're a little kooky when you say you can do everything. That's what the real world thinks. They don't know about a somatovisceral reflex. But that doesn't matter. So we won't get into too much marketing right now about why it's a problem. But we will go into patient education. And then as soon as I based it on the science of the 3 phases of healing and talked with you about how you heal, which has nothing to do with my profession, it's amazing how much they understood that. They accepted it, understood it, go, yeah. Then the only thing I had to do is make it affordable. They agreed with everything I said clinically. The only thing I had to do now was to go to terms and make it affordable and respect their time. That's what I had to do. And that's exactly what I did. Now, as soon as I did that, boom, practice blew up. Now we're not losing 33% of the business in the first 2 visits, or 50% in the first 6 visits. You're not even in the first 2 weeks of the repair phase of healing when you're losing 50% of your business in the first 6 visits. I'm like, you're doing some major stuff wrong. You're saying you're doing some really bad stuff. You know, a lot of times I say, you know, when you got stats like that, the best thing you could do is just tell the patient, let me just treat you 3 times a week till you feel better. And you'll have better stats. They won't be dropping out at 6 visits if you just did that and not try to indoctrinate them. And I'll move forward with this. And I say this all the time. They'll care about you and chiropractic when you give a damn about the dentistry profession's philosophy. Do you care about the dental profession's philosophy? Do you care about the podiatry profession philosophy? Then why the hell should you think they care about yours, and why are you pushing it on them? because that's all you know. That's what they keep teaching. They keep teaching what loses, what keeps it down at 8% year after year after year after year. And when you go to the S-curve of economics and understand the basics of how this works, patients stay. I have no problems patients staying. It makes total sense when I explain the 3 phases of healing to them, and then I make it affordable, because it makes absolute sense to them. I'm not talking about weird stuff to them. I'm not trying to get them to buy into a philosophy. So it's all about them and the 3 phases of healing and making it affordable. That's what's going on. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to cover.